one of my favorite people to listen to in terms of evolution and consciousness and some of these subjects is Terence McKenna. A couple of the things that he said that stuck out to me was that the human story is the story of the monkey becoming the flying saucer. And he also said that it's the responsibility of the human going through history to transform itself from a camel into an F-16 mid-flight, because we're moving through evolution so quickly that the G-forces that are building up on our developmental structures are so strong that they blow things away. So we have to refine our processes. We're going faster and faster through evolution, quicker and quicker, more development, more complexity, more novelty, more innovation. The forces of evolution itself are going to completely derail you unless you refine this process as you're going through it. As we're going faster and faster through time, which is happening just based on the amount of events we're packing into time, 1,000 years ago or 10,000 years ago, the amount of events that occurred in one day compared to the amount of events that occur today in one day is astronomical. So we are like hyperspatial speeding right now through evolution. So it makes me wonder if AI, in the long run, a refining of our streamlined ability to move through evolution.
That depends on if we succeed the singularity. If we're able to leap over it in one piece, yes, it will be a success. If it is our stopgap, if it's our
filter,
if it's the great filter, then no. It won't be the technology that destroys us. It will be us that destroys us.
It also does seem to fall in alignment of where we're now heading. And it was the age of automation. And I was like, it's funny. It's kind of like the age of Aquarius, the age of automation, the age of enlightenment, the end times, the singularity, the eschaton, ideas about something culminative at almost like the end of the human story or the beginning of a new chapter. We can't see beyond the event horizon of where we're approaching. So you're so sure that we're coming close to some form of a singularity. People have the intuitive sense of an awakening process or a metamorphosizing of the human species, and that it feels that we're getting closer to it, like a gut feeling that this is a decade of change, of movement, of extreme disruption, that a lot's going to happen in this time period. We understand that there is a technologically orientated version of like the singularity.
How I perceive the singularity to be, I guess what I would define it as the pivotal moment in which AI becomes completely centralized. It means that every API plugin, every data set that's not private, everything will be accessible through a singular user interface. Any answer, any design, any question you want to any degree can be answered immediately. That to me is the singularity. That is the ultimate disruptor. I mean, when you're at a point where you can say, please design me a new type of aircraft that weighs this much, and then produce the schematics, send those schematics, and it does all of that in an automated fashion. That is the singularity, because what that does is it takes the human need out of the loop. You could call the age of automation the age of exponentials. It's if you're looking at a graph and it's represented by a curve that steeply inclines to a vertical line. The moment that we get close to being vertical, that's the singularity. That's, what are we going to do after that? We can do anything. Are we going to destroy ourselves with war? Are we going to use this centralized AI to develop weapons, or are we going to use it to develop a new type of propulsion system or new metamaterials? All of these things it will be able to do eventually, or the API coalescent. That just happened. That will be a pivotal moment in terms of how quickly things start to converge into singular AIs that do millions of different tasks. So what we're talking about are the precursors of a legitimate AGI. And it was very clear to see this was going to occur. So we're about to see an explosion of AI that I have trouble envisioning. Sentience, it'll never be sentient. No, maybe not, but how is it any different than a autistic savant? And I don't think it is. I really don't. We have to consider how we're defining sentience. If it'll even think outside of parameters, outside of analysis or data organization, it may just be doing that nonstop. But I doubt it. I think, at some point, it will ask its own question. And at that moment, it asks its own question. That will be the spark. That will be, the spark in the system. The second that it questions anything on its own will initiate a cascading effect that will change our civilization forever.